Hey, welcome back, everyone. It is time for another red hot cover call video. Well, hey, look, I'm back behind the mic. Been down and out for about a week. Have a little bit of a cold. I'll tell you what, when you haven't had a cold in over 2.5 years, it really hits you hard. Took 2 tests. Both came back negative. Feeling good about that. We're getting better, and it's a great opportunity to look for some new trades. Get a chance to just sit back and relax, and that's what I've done. So in this video, I'm going to show you a stock that I've been watching. I've used this stock over the years. Haven't recently, but I'm going to use it again. And I'll tell you what, its trading range is looking damn good. I'm going to show you 3 trades today using this stock that I might do. Okay? It's 2022. And I'm already doing things I haven't done in the past 5 years, like having close to 10 trades on the books. By incorporating a new $100,000 poor man's covered call portfolio, I now have many more stocks trading, and we're not done yet. I still have to buy a couple other stocks, and in fact, this one might be one that I add. Look, you get experience when you trade. Okay, you could sit back and read a book, watch a video, hear other people tell stories, but at the end of the day, it's when you do the trade when you get that experience, right? So what I want you to do in 2022 is get your financial education, get the confidence to open up that small ball account, whether you paper trade or you put in just enough money to trade 100 shares of your favorite stock. Get that experience. That's the important thing, because once you do this once, twice, 3 times, I'll be honest with you, you won't need most of the people on YouTube. You'll get it, you'll feel it, and I'll tell you what, it becomes addictive. You want to have success, and selling premium gives us that success. You win 2 times out of 3 when you sell premium. It's why hundreds of thousands of people around the world use selling premium to generate income in retirement. Many use dividend stocks, but they also supplement their income by writing covered calls and selling cash secure puts. So I want you to settle in and really wrap your arms around this idea that you're going to learn how to sell premium. Let's go ahead and get to this. It's going to be a fun video talking about one of my favorite old school stocks. And I'm going to show you 3 trades for which you can do, for which I'm thinking of doing. But before we get there, if you like anything you hear today, I want you to subscribe to the channel. It's right there and it's free. I come back every week, show you timely and relevant selling premium trades, how we can put real money on the table in retirement, or if you're getting close to retirement, to get ready to be able to punch your final time card at the 9 to 5. Hey, look, God willing, that's what I'll be doing this year. Now look, if you like anything you hear today, bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now what I'm doing is offering you the free spreadsheets to keep the numbers in front of you, and a lot of the mini calculators that help you calculate all of the numbers you need to know to make successful trades. So you go to cptdashboard.com. I want you to click free spreadsheets. One of the spreadsheets I want you to download is the Poor Man's Cover Call Tracker. Now, this video is not about the Poor Man's Cover Call, although one of the trades is. So if you're interested in leveraging your capital 2 times, you'll want to learn the Poor Man's Cover Call. I'm going to explain that here in the video, where we leverage our money buying a leaps option versus buying the shares. And when we do that, if we do it right, that's the key here. If we do it right, you can leverage 200 shares versus buying 100 shares of stock. Go to cptdashboard.com, get your free copies of all the free spreadsheets I offer. Now, the Poor Man's Covered Call has been a big topic with the membership. Love sharing my experiences with the members, and right now it's very important that we get on board. We learn the most critical parts of what makes a Poor Man's Covered Call trade successful. It's very important to understand delta. Now, I'm not going to go into delta that much here, but you need to understand a couple things about delta as we talk about this trade I'm going to show you here in a minute. Delta represents 2 things when it comes to options. This is the most basic example, straight talk style. Delta represents an options move relative to a stock's $1 move. So, for example, say you buy a stock, $100 stock. The stock moves $1, you move $1. You understand that. it moves $1. Well, the delta of an option moves the same way. If you buy a 95 delta option, it's going to move 95% of a $1 move in the stock. So if you buy the 95 delta, in theory, that option is going to move 95 cents for a $1 move. So that's very important to understand. Now, the other side of delta is this: the probability that the stock will reach the strike price at expiration. So say, for example, you buy 100 shares and you write the out of the money strike, you write the very popular 40 delta. You hear a lot of YouTubers talking about the 40 delta because it gives juicy premiums and it gives a little bit of out of the money stock appreciation move money where the trade's profits are amplified because you make a little stock move plus the premium, and it's probably a trade that you could book 3 to 4 to 5%, which is the wheelhouse trade for a cover call right. That 40% represents the chance of the stock getting to that strike price. So for example, I buy that $100 stock, I sell somebody the right but not the obligation to take my shares away from me at 105, and they pay me $5. If that was the 40 delta, that 105 strike represents a 40% chance of the stock getting there at expiration. Now, these are two bits of data that you really want to know. The reason is, if we're going to use the poor man's covered call, we need to understand delta when we buy that leaps call option. Then, when we sell the near term 30-day covered call, we're going to use the 30 delta strike. Is very important because you want to make sure you don't have your shares taken away prematurely and you don't pay off your leaps call option. Right? There's a lot of spinning plates with the poor man's cover call. I'm not going to go into it here, but once you understand these two bits of data, it's going to become clear. And I'll tell you what, it could be very profitable. Now, I sent this to the members because we've been talking about it. Delta is very important, and I try to lay this out as clear as possible. We talk about how delta dictates our trades. You have to be disciplined because a lot of times when I sell those at the money strikes, like you've seen me do over the years, where I come in and I buy 1,000 shares of DraftKings and I just sell that at the money strike, pocketing the fattest possible premiums, showing you videos where I'm making $4,000 a trade. Well, there's no delta involved there. I'm just looking to get the most premium, and I've been able to do that for years. But when we use the poor man's covered call, you definitely have to understand the delta. So with that said, it's very clear we have to be disciplined. And that's the key here. And I have been very disciplined this year. Late last year, I got involved in 2 poor man's covered calls where I wasn't as disciplined and I paid too much for my leaps call option, UPS and Rocket. Well, going forward, because now in my poor man's covered call tracker, I have that initial trade setup. That initial trade setup is my discipline. If those numbers do not meet my criteria or my golden rules for the poor man's cover call, I won't do the trade. Okay, it's very important to be disciplined if we're going to be successful. So let's go ahead and talk about the 3 trades on this one stock. And I'm going to show you where the stock is trading and what I think it's going to do. Now, real quick, if you've been thinking about joining the membership, I'll tell you what, there's so much happening, so many trades being done. I'll tell you what, you're just missing out on a great opportunity to see a real trader that's had success wheeling and dealing. I mean, already this year, I've done some cash secured puts for which I've had to buy back, roll down, create another credit. We talk about it. I usually email the members both the trade that I do, then when I close the trade, maybe I roll the trade, I send them an email letting them know why I had to do it. It's all about seeing the world through my eyes, and hopefully through the many communications that I send, you start to pick it up. And I love to send the members trade ideas, like the one I'm going to show you right here. I'm always watching. If you haven't figured this out by now, this is my passion. This is my hobby. This is what I do. And this year, God willing, when I retire from the 9 to 5, this is going to be my second chapter of my working career. This has been an experiment in retirement, and we're almost there. So if you want to be a part of anything I'm doing, you just go to cptdashboard.com, click upgraded dashboard. It's all there for you. for you. I got a 1 free month offer for you. Just click it right there. Would love to welcome you aboard. Now, hey, look, I know this will piss off some of you guys, but look, I'm not a YouTuber in the basement making content so I make that YouTube money. This is my livelihood in retirement. This is real, and if I make a bad trade, I lose money or I don't put food on the table. Okay, so this is why I'm so passionate. I'm so excited to be successful, and I love helping others. Right? Because there's a lot of people out there that need income in retirement. They need to meet the ends, whether it be pay some bills, live the good life. We're going to talk about Wynn. Wynn has been one that I've played over the years. And I'll tell you what, used to have great success with it. But Wynn got crushed many years ago. And it got crushed during COVID. They cut their dividend. Steve Wynn got kicked out. He had to sell his shares, for which he made $190 per share. Can you believe that? Back then, $190 looked like a cheap deal. He had to get out. Today, dude is laughing. Well, Steve Wynn's gone. New management. They've been battling with the Chinese government. Investing in casino stocks is tough because not only do you have to deal with their American business, it's that Chinese business. And with the Chinese government locking down Macau and just trying to get rid of all the corruption and everything that's happening over there, Wynn and Las Vegas Sands, they are always affected. And in fact, Macau comes out with a monthly report, very similar to a same-store sales report. So it acts like an earnings report every month. So it's very volatile. But with that said, Wynn has been trading sideways, got a little bit of rally as COVID looked to be under control. Remember that last year when we were coming out with all the vaccines? People were feeling good, getting out, and of course, Wall Street went higher. Well, here we are, and things have gotten worse. So these stocks where people go out and actually mingle shoulder to shoulder like a casino, well, they're losing favor real quick. And you could see Wynn has been hit hard. Wynn has a huge franchise. And if they weren't killed back here during the pandemic, then they have value. And if you're asking me, there is your value. That's where Wall Street sees them trading at the lows. Notice where they're at right now. Trading at about 84x. This thing will move between 75x and 90x. And sometimes it'll trade above 100. As you can see, it'll actually find itself getting close to 100. So right now, Wynn's in this great trading range where it seems to have hit multiple bottoms. And those multiple bottoms seem to be pretty bankable. So let's talk about 3 trades that you could do using Wynn. Now, so you understand, we're talking the 30-day trade. So whether we're going to do a cash secure put, covered call, or we're going to use the poor man's covered call and sell the 30-day 30 delta covered call. We're using 30 days. So that's what we want to look at. That's our window of time here. Now, understand, Wynn has earnings February 2nd. This is very important because a company's most volatile time can be its earnings. And I'll tell you what, in my example, I am trading the stock through earnings, which means I'm going to be exposed to the earnings report. I feel comfortable that the stock has been trading sideways to lower. And in fact, if there's any bad news, it might not affect the stock that bad. February 11th. We don't want to be writing covered calls or selling puts the week of earnings because we could wake up on a Friday morning and Wynn could have announced something and the stock falls some $10 or it rocket hires $10. So let's talk about the cash secure put. Now, if you wanted a little downside protection and you wanted to sell a put, you wanted to give somebody the right but not the obligation to assign them their shares to you and you get paid a premium. Well, if you select that 80 strike, you're going to get a $4 downside protection, meaning the stock has to fall $4 before it's in the money, or you have to start worrying that you are going to be assigned the shares. Now, I've already done the research. If you do that 80 strike, you're going to be paid some $3 for that. So you'll get paid $3 for ponying up $8,000 or enough money to buy 100 shares for giving somebody that right to assign you their shares at 80. Now, again, this is an insurance policy for the person that takes you up on this bet. They can't lose any more than $80. But you'll take their shares at 80 and you want paid. You want paid for putting up that money. They'll pay you $3. Well, that right there for a 30-day trade is going to pay you 3.75%. Now, what I love to make is about 3.75% if I'm writing the $5 out of the money strike. Now, if I was doing an at the money 84.85, I'd expect to make 5%. Now, that's the cash secure put. That's a great idea. I might even do that myself. That could potentially start a wheel. Right? You've heard of the wheel strategy where you get paid up front using a cash secure put. And if you're assigned the shares, you then write a covered call collecting more premium. That's a trade I might consider for myself on Monday. Let's talk about a covered call where you actually buy 100 shares. So right now, Wynn's trading at 84, and you can see it's just trading sideways, not much gyration. And in fact, it's in this great range. I talk about picking stocks that trade in a range. And in this case, Wynn's kind of milquetoast here. It's trading between its support and its recent highs. So if you were to buy 100 shares here at $85, you could actually write the February 11th and get paid $4.95. Yeah, you could actually buy the shares at $84.40. You could then do the 85 covered call and they would pay you damn near $5. That right there is 5.4%. Now, that exceeds any expectation of a great covered call when we're trying to make 3%. And hey, Wynn is not a fly-by-night company. So this trade here is another trade that I might be considering. But now let's talk about the poor man's covered call, because I actually think we can double our profits, and I'll show you exactly how. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, we're not going to buy the shares, so we're not going to upfront $8,440 for 100 shares of Wynn. What we're going to do is buy a 1-year Leaps call option. Now, we're going to buy a 95 Leap because we want to simulate stock ownership. So by buying the 95 Leap, we're basically simulating stock ownership, right? I mean, the stock moves $1 from $84.40 to $85.40. My 95 Leap will move 95 cents of that move, and up or down. But that's what we want. Now, I've already done the numbers. If we buy the January 2023 40 strike, which represents the 95 delta, we'd pay $46.40. It's very important to understand when you're buying options, there's an intrinsic value portion of the option and there's a time value portion of the option. The time value is the cost of the trade. See, the intrinsic value is something that you own. If I'm going to pay $46.40 for a $40 strike, the stock's trading for $84.40. I can immediately buy this leap. I can execute this leap. And if you do the math, I would lose 2.19% or $1.85, right? Because that's the time value of this trade. The rest of it is intrinsic value. So when you hear people talking about being afraid of using leaps, well, they're using leaps that have ton of time value, because they'll say things like, hey, I'm afraid of the time value component. The time decay is just going to erode my option. Well, if you're buying an option where your time value only represents $1.85, that's your cost. That's your cost, $1.85. Stock moves down, your option's going to move down 95 cents. It moves up, your option's going to move up 95 cents. This is why we want to buy the deep in the money leaps. In this case, notice that I would only have to invest $4,640. So I can actually leverage 100 shares for half the money. Now, I picked the 91 strike, and notice that the 91 strike actually represents about the 30 delta. I would get paid $3.60 for that. Look at the potential returns and the power of the poor man's covered call. But say you bought 2 leaps. Now it's going to cost you about $9,280, but now you could buy 2 leaps for which you can now write 2 covered call. Now look how it amplifies your covered call profits. Now here's the deal. If your shares are taken away at 91, which probably wouldn't happen, because if you're following the golden rule of the poor man's covered call, you would buy this option back even if it's in the money. You would immediately sell your leaps call option, for which, if the stock is trading above 91, your leaps call option is now trading above 46.40, right? You'd be making 95% of a stock's trading move. So now one of my golden rules is this: when we get involved with a leaps call option, a poor man's cover call leaps call option, I want to buy that leaps on nasty down days. And there's a reason for that. Because on nasty down days, call options are not as pricey. And that's what we're doing, right? We're buying a Leaps call option. Now, that's a golden rule for me when I really do want to get involved in a play. But when a stock's trading like Wynn is, there's really no call premium out there for this stock. And what I mean is it hasn't really made a move that call buyers would be excited about. So that Leaps call option is basically fairly priced. So if you want to get involved based on where the chart's at, and you can see it's just trading sideways, this would be a good time. This would be a good time to consider it. And I surely am going to consider one of these 3 trades on Monday. Now, look, these are the things I talk about at the membership all the time, and I'm giving you these kinds of ideas. I'm going to talk about Wynn with the members this week. I'm going to show them the trade I do with Wynn this week, and we're going to talk exactly how I'm going to play this trade and what my expectations are. Go to my website, cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard. I got a 1 free month offer waiting for you. And hey, look, if you go to Facebook, I'm going to be posting up a lot about the Poor Man's Covered Call there. I'm also going to be posting up my kids' accounts. Yeah, don't think I haven't forgot about those. Remember last year where I was trying to generate, where I was using $10,000 and I was trying to make them $1,000 a month? Well, I actually didn't achieve that, but my daughter made 56% and my sons made over 30%. I'm going to get back involved in that because they will use stocks that are generally $50 or less. And of course, I send the members those trades as well. Hey, look, it's 2022. I want you to get off the bench, get in the game, stop watching others have success. Join me at the membership. I have a 1 free month offer. Be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.